just something that I created many years back when we started hiring some PMs, American guys, and let them understand, but they have no clue, whatever shit. I was really shocked by some American project manager at the time, 15 years, 10 years experience, how little they know. How don't careless they are. How their attitude is just, okay, we can do it tomorrow. We can do it later. Okay, you're sure? Okay, we'll order next day express. That's usually not American guys nowadays. But that's really bad. So later I fire everybody. I mean, for instance, I have problem sending him with a seamer. Hey, you seem to let them sim the job. And he give to them. Later, he brought it back. And then when I went to the job site, never got seamed. What happened? Oh, they told me they did it. Who? And then, our Spanish guy said, oh, we tell them? I'll never say that. Yeah. That's how bad they are. They just don't care. They're just merely driving in and out. So when you go to job site, you need to have an attitude that you will get this job done best way possible. If you don't have that attitude, you got a problem. Every job. Okay, this is just project manager manual of some stuff that we discussed in a lot of cases. So some of the responsibility and it covers a lot more than this. But there's a name, I put it here, but Daniel Park is there because at the time Daniel Park was a senior project manager. Right. So the basic item we talked about and a little more. So this one you can just check later on as reference. On the third page, that's where timing of project manager. Okay, stage 1 is a submittal process we talked about. Right? Make a project info sheet, same thing we talked about. Familiar with the major material involvement of details, same thing we talked about. Okay, so with stage 1, we gotta find out what's going on with the project, material, everything. That's phase 1, what we talked about. Everything, material, this, everything. Right? That stage 2, you have to resolve all the issue, clarification, all that. Right? Then it pops up submittal phases. If you something that you didn't clarify on the contract, you may notice when you do submittal, you're more detailed. But you should really check it before contract. But you need to clarify all that. The starting phase, that's like stage 3, starting phase of project, same thing we talked about. This is where with coordination, any blocking coordination, size and height, E blocking, gable blocking, peak blocking, we gotta coordinate it. We gotta tell them. That makes our job easier, right? Up front, before they worked on it. Before they work, that's the key. Somehow we gotta tell them in a written fashion. Because when you visit the job site, sometimes John did it too. They write it, they draw it at the plan. But that's not good enough. We need to take a picture. Later that drawing's gone, then you have nothing to prove, right? And let them initial something, right? So later they didn't do it. Usually a lot of times, I didn't know. No, I don't remember. That's a lot of answer. I don't remember, right? If it's his fault. The through-wall flashing, another item. Then we need to coordinate what the height of the through-wall. Why is it important? Through-wall flashing height. Has to be how many inches? Ideally.
8 inches.
About 8 inches is ideal, but 6 inches is okay. But 12 inches is too much sometimes. 8 inches plus minus. Right? For all through-wall flashing. Right? Through-wall flashing, you know what that is, right? Yeah, there's a roof line, and there's a wall, big wall, right? And then we put the panel, insulation, panel, and then there's a flashing needs to be. There's a many job. This flashing is installed by, it can be static, installed by a brick mason, almost all. And they used to put it too low. Sometimes they step it. This stupid brick mason doesn't know how to step per slope.
Heritage.
They come out like this, come down.
He's talking about heritage.
Yeah, they come down like this. Oh, they go, and they go, and they go out like this. Seriously, there's a job like that, up and down.
I'll show you guys.
And then there's a job here. This area comes below the roof line. It's a disaster for brick mason.
Then they have to guy everything.
Usually proper, they have to tell all the brick. Yeah, but that job, we cover it, nothing leaks, so I'm still not leaking. So.
Yeah, we helped him out too. Manhattan.
And, oh, that job had a lot of big overhang at the gable. That helped. Yeah. So this height is minimum from the deck. We're gonna give it from the finished deck. Let's say we got 4-inch insulation, depending on insulation, 4 inches. Our panel usually 2 inches, right? Then we gotta give him from the deck how much height, bottom of the flashing. Add this 6 inches, another 8 inches? Yeah, 14, 10 and 14 to 16 inches. Don't just say 14 inches. That's okay, 14 to 16 or 15 inches. That's the lowest.
The lowest.
Usually we give highest 16 inches. Okay?
If they do go higher,
Highest okay.
it's
Usually
okay,
no problem.
right? It'll-
We just have to make our flashing better.
aesthetically.
Yeah, exactly. Higher is okay.
Okay,
No big deal.
just aesthetic.
Yeah. And those items needs to be coordinated before the brick mason. And then a lot of time we need to coordinate, bring that through wall flashing to them. Right? Sometimes it's brick mason had no skill to cutting when they step it.
Use blue.
When they step it. That's the flashing from the view. They have to step it. Going this way around, right? It's overlap a little more, but and then our roof line needs to go like this, right? Sometimes there's good brick mason knows what the size is this, perfect size. They want 8 inches, 12 inches, huh? If we can determine what that is, I think we have to make it for them that way. Instead of them cutting it, feel, right? If we give them 10-foot sheet, they're very bad at cutting. Right? So if they can determine this is 6 inches, 6 inches up, you can easily calculate slope per month. Right? Those are 2 perfect jobs
Signal
out of my
mountain.
20 years. They did perfectly. All other job, brick mason is really not true. I mean, so far I was involved, but so many years I didn't involve that much, so maybe they did another perfect job. So we have to coordinate to make sure they properly overlap everything. We got another piece tucked. We got another piece needs tucked underneath, like this fashion. Right? It's all covered, and then it goes up. So and then there's time if we can. We want to give them the straight through wall flashing, if we can. Some brick mason prefer it, rarely, but some. This is best, really aesthetically best. Installation is clean, everything's easy. But brick mason takes more time. But some brick mason likes it because step is always a problem. Like Signal Mountain, you see Signal Mountain, they cut every brick, install like this.
They cut
Brick
block.
mason cut it.
They cut block, face brick,
Yeah, they cut the
everything.
brick. Because that brick mason, that foreman knows I don't like this step flashing, so I will cut it brick. And then depend on the type of the
Or we can always surface mount it. Some jobs you can just surface mount it.
okay. Depend on type of the brick and block, split face block. Block, the cement base,
Spores.
it sucks the water like a sponge. So if there's big exposed area, gymnasium,
Split face
we got a
block.
little bit of a flashing right here, this roof line, big area, we had a problem in Myrtle Beach. They called many times we went in,
Or
this line
Arab.
is leaking. So I was like, oh my God. So we did this 3-4 times, and before Daniel went in first, he would do it, he couldn't find it already. Because so by that time, if you go, what do you see? That you send the guy 3-4 times to repair it. And then finally you're fed up, okay, I'm gonna go take a look at it. Then what do you see?
Caulking.
Tons of caulking. No, they don't know. So that problem was nothing with that. It's this thing's soaking water, and they didn't install through wall brushing properly. So the solution was waterproof the
What if the whole wall?
wall, and it stopped the problem. That work really works. It stopped the problem.
Hydro stop.
I just know.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But they say it's
Instant.
about 5 years. They say
Instant.
about 5, it lasts 5 years. A very easy solution.
Sprayed it on.
If it's 5 years, no problem.
Don't use any milk.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then another thing that you need to coordinate, couple things, is the window flashing. When we do the wall panel. Okay, window sill flashing. This is always problem, especially curved story. Let's say this is a roof. There's another roof coming out like this. There's a big window. This is problem area. Roof or window, this is always problem. Huh? Another roof like this. Either they put window or roofer, doesn't matter.
Overhang is okay. I mean, if we have overhang,
Right.
and then
So window area, let's say window, coming down. And then there's a window sill they installed, and our roof coming around, and our wall panel here, or somehow our wall panel here, right? Well, bottom flashing, our wall panel here, right? This window sill, sometimes window guy install their own seal. Usually we can push it that way. Window, this is part of the window component. But they say, your sheet metal work, why are you not doing it? You know, okay, well, what's your, how you say it?
What if it was brick?
What if it was brick? Who's doing it? Brick guy's doing it? You guys just get a window seal. That's your component. But probably when they do it, they're always bad at the corner. When you face
At
it,
the very end.
when you
Just
face
like
the
shape it.
window, you see
Shape it.
flashing here. That each corner, this water hits and goes in, and this create like a dam, and then water flows to the end corner. The end they are finishing it. Sometimes they bend over. They don't even bend over sometimes.
Our guys bend it over, cock it,
Yeah.
but they don't care.
Yeah, that's why I say shaping.
Mm-hmm,
You need to let the rain really know. It's been leaking every single corner, dripping. Like I say, after we finish the wall panel, it's leaking. They're gonna call us, not window guys. Wall panel is leaking. So
Same thing with that red bank, remember?
yeah.
So do we fabricate that for them?
Quicker, that's what I'm saying. It's window seal component, but the worst case, sometimes we have to do it. When we do it, then we have to install it, fabricate everything. And, we make them install it, we make sure it's correctly done.
Or even sometimes we double it. Architect wants ours and theirs.
Yeah, and then make sure it doesn't lean this way. The reason I draw
Positive
this way is always case lean that way. If at least you lean this way, it's much less a problem. The water can flow this out. And a lot of times the windows sitting on it, they lean this way. So before we usually have wood block and window still goes on. So what we do when we install our guy, sometimes you have to put something a little bit support on.
We put,
You can find it from
we
Johnson.
put caulking tape, but it's expensive.
Yeah, something you can find it, foam, whatever. Put it at the corner so it will lift up, so it doesn't go here. It all comes out.
And you even angle it
Yeah.
too
Yeah, it's-
when you make them at the shop.
Window seal is always a problem, right? Especially also wall bottom too. All wall bottom.
Same concept.
You have to have a positive slope. Okay. So when we design our fab sheet, don't just put it 91. Okay. What about 93 to cut out wall? Because our machine is not perfect throughout the degree.
Right.
So there we're about 2 to 3 degree off, so make sure you give him enough. That's you have to clarify up front. That's why I say very beginning, clarify front window, estimate start time, all decking still is inspected. They say, our decking's ready. We go out there, we forgot inspection. There's an incident, we lay some on it, they forgot, you gotta take it off. Yeah.
A church?
We back charge on there. We back charge.
백 터지가 문제가 없나?
Yeah. So okay, and then there comes those things coordinate, wood blocking measurement, everything. So we got to send a written confirmation, tell them what it is we need. And once you do that to GC, they like it up front. You guys, they know what they're doing. We give heads up. It's a requirement. Any curve needs wood blocking, you let them know. Needs to be height of the insulation. Okay, 8 weeks before the battle. Okay. That's where it says special custom color material needs to be ordered 8 weeks with the approximate quantity of the project. Okay, which means that we don't know fine tuning, cut the size and length. But at least we know 34,000, 35,000, 36,000, what profile, what gauge, everything. It should be already approved, right? So 8 weeks before, we got to start ordering. If you don't know the size of the panel, it's okay. You tell them, get the core one. Get a written statement. Don't just email it unless you get a response. Everything order, you have to email or whatever you do, get a response. They acknowledge it. Okay? I have an incident one time, I thought they had it. 3 weeks later, I called them. I said, oh, I never got it. So back then, 15, 20, there was a fax order. Right? We didn't use the internet that much then. Then what? They never got it. So there I realized, oh my God, you have to confirm as soon as you send it. You got it? Process it. Says, yes, I got it processed. Get some written reply these days from email or whatever. So 거기서 I told them give color, profile, information, gauge, whatever, okay? Get approved one, okay? So make sure you order what's approved. Don't mess up the color. Had an incident had it before. GC messed it up. G sent us leaf green color, that's Boone job. He approved leaf green. GC circle, he approved it, because I usually never order unless they got written color, gauge, everything. Later comes in, it's supposed to be hunter green, darker green, mature, deliver, all rejected. GC bought it. It's costly for them. That's 30,000 square foot material was delivered.
It's over 50,000.
AP spend job.
Right.
It can happen to us, our mistake. Okay? Somehow you confuse, they say, oh, leaf green instead of hunter green. Right? Order, you have to double check. Color, gauge, profile. Striation, non-striation, embossed, you have to double check. What's approved? Okay, so you cover your ass, right? Cover your ass, right? So you always need a written confirmation of approval for the color, gauge, profile, everything. Striation, no striation. That's important too. We always, as a default, we send in a striation for the panel. Okay?
Is it okay to, or is it okay in submittal to like list it out, or is that too much?
Yeah, submittal, that's where submittal clarify everything. When you do the striation, 24 gauge, better not profile, that's what you list it out. You circle it, what we're doing.
But I mean, like in a list, like summary sheet, because of.
You don't have to go that deep, but there's a section panel, they will circle it, right? They will initial it. So, but if you don't get that back from the GC as what their intent was, tell them that you have to clarify it. This is what we provide. Since that's why we circle what we want first. When we get approved, then we got at least say, excuse me, you didn't comment anything with circle, right? But there are two different profiles, striation and 16-inch panel. We have to circle what we're providing, right? And then let them initiate if they need, but usually they approve, right? And then we got ammunition, we can file later. Make sure we have ammunition, we'll build, we can fight later if there's any dispute comes in. So far, there's no such disaster ever happened. Other than Soffit, the misty order, it was the white short blue.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was like, how much was it?
$30,000.
$30,000 worth of Soffit, short blue instead of white. It's still sitting on North Carolina office. Who's going to use a blue Soffit? How are we going to solve it? But we cannot throw away. So that can be very costly. It can happen, really.
I am
Okay.
pretty sure. Yeah.
So make sure, don't make the disaster.
Another one is to make sure before we sign on the acknowledgement, we need to double check the items.
Yeah. So double check, triple check before order, because that's very important, right? Because if it's wrong, we end up sitting on inventory we don't need forever sometimes. But we cannot throw away either. And then also from the 8 weeks, the long lead time materials and procedure needs to be addressed at this time. Longer lead time one, okay, other than panels, anything longer lead time. 8 weeks before battle, before D-Day. This is why we need to start moving. Okay, it comes 3-4 weeks before battle, right? Then you have to familiarize with the material involvement and shop drawing detail. You gotta familiarize everything, okay? Order material with a note to ask manufacturer to advise us before panel production, okay? In other words, 3-4 weeks before, we really have to start giving actual size of panel we need. But always when you order it, always put the special note saying, contact us or call us before you produce. Okay, don't let them produce. Sometimes the manufacturer has a little slot. They want to fill it in, and sometimes they just, whatever they're scared, they produce in. If they already had a coil or standard color, whatever reason. Then sometimes we know last minute, oh, we got to 2 inch more, 3 inch more, right? Then, so always tell them to contact us before actual your production or panel. If they call us 2 weeks later, hey, we're producing it, and then you make the decision, okay, go ahead, right? Just put that phrase, even though you think your size is perfect, put the phrase, okay? And then sometimes they produce it without, one time AP snap happened, they produced it without letting me know, so I have to have it like 3 more inches, right? I think it was shorter, I have to make it shorter. Because usually when I do,
So you charge them for
when I do
cutting.
initial without fair measure, I usually give them a little more length, just in case they produce it, right? Because I foresee sometimes they produce it, so that kicks in my favor. So I charge them, hey, every cut $3. That's okay, and don't charge that extra length because they missed that step. They didn't go with my direction. If you don't have that direction, then hey, you order. We produce it, nothing we did wrong. So usually, as a default, put that place in. And then order material with a note test of the profile gauge, double check profile, again, double check profile gauge, traction. And a lot of time, get a acknowledgement from the manufacturer saying what they're producing, right? A lot of time, DMI send a sign sheet. When they send a sign sheet, double check. Okay? Don't think they send sign sheet same as what you order. They can make human error. Once you signed it, the latest one supersede whatever you did before. Okay? Kelly made a mistake. Instead of 34 feet, he made it 24 feet. Typo error, he made a mistake. And then we signed it. That's our baby. But it's good to have us the acknowledgement and double check too. Whether they put the striation there, they put the color right, gauge right, the profile right, the length right. Okay? Make sure you double check. 그 다음에, if we didn't fine tune the size of the panel, that's the opportunity within 3-4 weeks time before they produce it. You have to fair measure. By that time, we should be able to fair measure. Get closer to the D-Day. Fair measure is very important. For instance, calendar. I know we did best what we can under the information we got, but we ended up cutting about 2 feet every damn panel. But the reason we had that problem is that we didn't have a really actual fair measurement, right? We go by what relative measurement, right? And then sometimes you never go. You don't want to go all the way drive there, fair measure. But sometimes we could ask GC Super to measure for us. Just double check our thing, right? 그거 말 한마디 하셔도 we just say that thing, maybe it could prevent it. 2 foot cut, how much is it? That's equal to 4 square foot. It's 2 foot panel. Times 60 panel, that's 240 square foot, right? Times how much per square foot we buy? About $10, $20, right? 그러면 that's 400, 맞냐?
140.
How do you say? 240. That's about $400, right? Yeah. And then cutting labor, slow down the efficiency. So it's all cost item. So fair measurement is very important. Okay, now 3-4 weeks, and then set up the room or apartments, whatever it needs. At the time, we need to know which motel, which room, what's best, what's close by, get research on it, and we know what that is, right? 3-4 weeks before. Okay, 2 weeks before the battle. Underlayment setup. Insulation, ice ratio, vapor barrier, gypsum board, whatever. Usually 2 weeks is enough time for us to order all the underlayments. Except there may be special underlayment. So you gotta find out what the lead time. Yeah, when you negotiate, find out what the lead time. And then that's where you need to set up, think about the screws. 2 weeks is enough time to provide the screws. Usually if it's a lot of screws, big job, 30,000, 40,000, 70 screws, you don't want to bring it here. about 2 weeks before, give them date they need to deliver. Give them date about before we arrive, D-date. Usually super can load it for us, those things, couple pallet, right? Or the day, and then even though it's coming, let's say you have to set up same day, it's coming, make sure we grab a couple bucket from office, just in case there's error going on. We can still got work to do, about couple of days, always. So there's a fastener, console rivet, wood blocking fastener, whatever. 2 weeks that you need to prepare that. 1 week before the battle, that's where you need to coordinate all deliveries, all equipment, crane, forklift, storage trailer, whatever. 1 week before, schedule and plan the labor. Okay, all the labors. Who's right guy? Who's the guy? We're gonna team up and do this job. That's what you plan. So we don't know 3 weeks before. Usually a week before we know who is available what. And then advise GC our schedule when we're coming. Right? Get ready. Are you ready? Right? Is it inspected? Wood blocking's on. You coordinate all that. That means you 1 week before you need to prepare startup material to get start work on panel. If we start work on panel, start material what we need. We're gonna discuss it in the fabrication sheet, but start material at least we need e-flashing, right, to do the panel. Whatever we need to bring it, shop fabrication, you gotta prepare it a week before. Okay? So in order to do that, we need to have a flash sheet delivered a week before, at least a week before job start. For any background material, it says there. And then plan that says plan good safety program to fit the job environment. And recheck for all material required to start installation, double check everything, always double check. The reason we do double check is our project manager mistake is costly company. Let's say I've been telling many times, on a roofer, let's say Jaime made a mistake. It's few $100 mistake. He does mistake a lot, right? Okay? Or Raul sometimes do that, right?
Raul's another level
Yeah.
though.
Raul and foreman, yeah. If he made a mistake, it can be thousands. It happened before. Raul dumped the stuff, we made thousands back charge.
5,000.
With 5,000 back charge?
Yeah.
Think about that. He didn't think, he just dumped the what? That's the
Ferristown.
Light gauge
deck.
No, there's a five.
Hoverboard. Yeah.
Think about that. That's foreman's mistake.
Boom.
He didn't make good judgment. How you gonna dump that stuff? Installation we've been dumping. I know he gets used to dumping installation. I have no problem. But
Still, even installation, the light gauge is,
Yeah.
the truss.
yeah, so you gotta be careful. So foreman. But project manager made a mistake. It can be tens of thousands, right? A little more upper measure, or if I made a mistake, it can be hundreds of thousands.
We're out.
Yeah. It can be really. You can swing the company. So project manager mistake is the second biggest mistake, costly mistake that company can face. All right, so think about it. That's why we double check everything. Right. And then, okay, there's a 2 day before battle. Reconfirm all delivery. This is big important. I know you set up and they say, okay, it will deliver 15. So don't assume it will deliver 15. 2 day before. Why we 2 day before? So if we find out 2 day before, we have 1 day to react. Well, if we find out day before, there's no time to react. So 2 day before, you have to find out, double check, is the insertion coming? Yes, sir, no problem. But you have to know who you deal with, supplier. That guy, hey, of course it's coming. That's not cut it. Right? Later it doesn't happen, all he's gonna say, I'm sorry. All right? Tell him, make sure you double check and send me email confirmation it's coming. These days, we got technology. We can use it as our favor, as a backup dispute. Right? You have to make sure it's confirmed. That includes equipment 2 days before. Everything 2 days before. And then also, if you need a spreader bar, any special tools, another thing. Straps, you gotta prepare it 2 days before everything. So if you straps out, we have to go buy it. At least we got time next day. We can go buy it, whatever. Right? And then 2 days before, we start up the team, and then mobilization plan. And then that's where we need to set up where crane location, discussion of crane location, set up everything, material, check sure, make sure it reaches, okay? Well, you already set up, okay, this is a good spot, but this is 50 yards away from the building. That's not a good spot. Can crane reach it? Right? You have to be really close to the building all the time. And then plan on location material, that's where we need to discuss what we're gonna load up the material and how we're gonna tackle this project, most efficient manner of installation. Okay, and then installation comes, make everybody know what, when, where, and how material to be installed. Always think how to finish in mind. That's I always said. You know, they just start without thinking how we're gonna finish it. Then when it comes to finish, is a problem. I have to start here instead of there. So what is gonna happen? We're gonna tear off all the 5-day work. No. So always when you start one, but think about how we're gonna finish it. Right? Especially small dormer, right? You don't just start full panel. You think small dormer. If you can visualize everything one eyesight, you have to make everything balanced. Sometimes you have to start half panel. Some job. If it's 200 feet run, you can start full panel. Don't worry about how we finish the panel right now. Okay. Some depends on job situation. You have to think about how we finish, how we start, how we finish it. Let's say you got 2 foot one. Let's say it's 21 foot flashing. You put a dormer. You just put the 10 foot flashing first, 10 foot and 2 foot flashing. Oh, you have to balance. 근데 our guy used just 10 foot and extra foot. Come on. You gotta use same three piece anyway, right? You can make it look nicer. Just you think a little bit. 그런 거는 얘들아, you have to convey that message while we're discussing with our foreman. Hey, this dormer. And sometimes now our guy goes, come on. You know, they're oh, come on. Okay, it's okay. They can say come on. Okay, but make sure. A lot of things I discussed today, you guys probably think that come on. I know that. Yeah, but just make sure you say it anyway. It doesn't matter. Reiterate. And then crease spacing. This is something we're lacking, but at the time I emphasized North Carolina is doing it. Chalkline all the crease spacing. Because that was disaster we had, but it wasn't end up not being disaster. We're 2-inch off, 4-inch closer, crease spacing. Somewhere 4 or 5-inch off. Someone's like 6-inch closer, and then the roofing consultant didn't buy it.
But on average,
Yeah, this roofing consultant didn't buy the average. He said, no, where it's off, I already installed it. How are we going to install the clip? You already simmed it. How the hell are you going to do this? We argue, fight, and then owner stepped in. The Wake County owner, the guy, Norm, pretty much he was, okay, let it go. So if owner stepped in, it's rare case. And then I also did the presentation. That, hey, there was 150-mile wind design in Raleigh, North Carolina. History Raleigh, the most windy situation, history Raleigh, that they can record how far back, I don't know, is 90 mile, 89 mile wind. So why they design 150 mile?